musical songs. It's the catchiness.
Devin, just wait till Chris and Nettles just finish shotgunning that old style at the back there.
Okay, so
Is that a tradition?
ready for coming. Couple of things. In the very back corner back there, we have a photo booth set up. If you haven't seen it already, it's really fun. You can take pictures and send them to yourself. Text them to yourself or send an email. And then also the plates that we have, we were going to put them on the fire. So if you haven't already thrown them in the trash, you can scrape the food off and put them in the, there's a box over there on the end of the table, or just stack them up over there and you can use those for the fire later. So at this point, Stephen is going to say a few words.
A few words. Let me just open my book here. So, how are you doing, everyone? My name is Stephen. I work with Alex. I've been friends with him for a few years now. And he just said, would you say a few words, just to loosen up the crowd a bit before he goes on his speech. I'm very happy to be here on this special occasion. For anyone that works with Alex and knows Alex, his decision to pick me pretty much only means that I'm the person that he dislikes the least. So I'm very, very proud of that, and an honour that falls to a few men. Anyway, I first met Alex back in 2011. We went and did our PGC, which is our teacher training together, in Brighton in the south of England. We didn't hit it off straight away. We had a massive cohort of people, and we were all asked to introduce each other on day one. I did my whole Irish thing, trying to drop it in, you know, and Alex mentioned he worked in a forest school, so I said I'm going to avoid that fella for a little while, and if he's going to just talk about trees all day, then we're not going to get on. But we soon found out that we had a great affinity in terms of a great love of soccer or football, my English friends, and not only that, we also realised that we were entering in a career together that probably neither of us wanted to be in, but sure, feck it, we'll give it a go. So that was fine as well. Anyway, from that moment I met Alex, it was pretty clear that he was probably the sensible one out of the two of us. So I've been trying to think of occasions where the roles have been reversed and he has been the least sensible one. And to be honest here, there's not many, which says more about me than it does about him. But there was one time when Alex decided that he would buy a camper van. Now, this camper van wasn't to go on holidaying on or vacationing, it was to actually live in. So at the age of 27, after getting numerous qualifications from numerous colleges around the UK, Alex decided that he would start his professional teaching life living in a camper van. And so he asked me to go along with him for when he was going to view one, and I was very excited about this because I knew it was going to go horribly wrong. So so we cycled down. It was in a sort of a town just outside Brighton where we were living, in a place called Port Slade. And on the way we talked about the negotiations and how they were going to go. And we said we'd park up the bikes a little bit distant, so we just got our story straight. So we arrived and we looked at the van, and neither of us knew what we were looking at or what we could see. But Alex looked at the van and very confidently he said to the man, yeah, I've actually seen one in a worse condition for a more expensive price. And Alex looked at me, smiled, very happy with himself. I looked at the guy that was selling the van and shrugged. And the guy looked at me, well, you can have this better one for a cheaper price if you want. But he took the van, and I don't know how long that lasted. Was it? Not very long. But an adventure to say the least.
Oh my God, just keep going.
So, myself and Alex, we came to America in 2015. I had got the job at the school. A job came available. We spoke to Alex about it, and it's been great to have him here. We've been lucky enough to have many adventures together around Chicago, many adventures on vacation as well. We cycled around Cuba, which was a good laugh, and there's some stories there that I'd love to tell you, but they don't paint me or him in a positive light. But coming out to America as two single men, you know, you think the world is your oyster, and things don't go to plan until Alex actually met Devin. And to say Alex is choosy about the girls that he's been with is an understatement. But when he met Devin, he came back and he said, "Do you know what? I've met this girl for the first time, and I was actually disgusted with the way I looked. I was disgusted with the way I dressed. I actually think she could be the one." And it was as soon as that, when Alex says that, you know it's going to be it's serious, and he's followed through, and he's been really good. Now there's an old Irish proverb that I'm not making up just for the context of this speech, that good fortune favours the kind-hearted. And having met Alex, he's been an amazing friend of mine. Been through me see me at my worst, see me when I've made some awful decisions. He's judged, but he's never told me he's judged, and he's always been there as a lending ear, which has been something that I really appreciate, especially the two of us coming out to America together. To be here on this special occasion, on this special day, is absolutely wonderful. And as proud as I am to be here, I'm as proud of him that he could create this occasion and create this great day, not just for him and his new wife, but also for all his family and friends who I know mean a lot to him. I'm going to end it there. If you have any questions, you can see me after. But can we raise a glass and a toast to the new Mr. and Mrs. Alex Hind and Devin Hare. Fantastic. Alex, I think you want to say a few words.
Well, there's two things there. First of all, I told my parents I only borrowed that van off someone. I knew they knew. But yeah, I've had another experience since where I managed to talk the price up for something rather than down. So, right, okay, lots of thank yous to do, especially after everybody arrived here earlier and actually sort of put this whole thing together. So there's even more thank yous to do now. I was going to say to everybody, thank you very much for coming to the Anglo-American Wedding of the Year. Unfortunately, due to some nonsense over at Windsor Castle in England last year, we're only allowed to call it the Anglo-American Wedding of the Weekend. We'll have to settle for that. However, we didn't cost the taxpayer tens of millions of pounds, and I don't think I saw Her Majesty Elizabeth leaving with a souvenir koozie. So, I dispute that fact massively. Regardless of that, we're really thankful for everybody coming out here today. People have come from near and far. And I'll say it again, you know, we said we wanted to invite close friends and family, and when we arrived here at 3 o'clock and we didn't realise that setting up a wedding takes a little bit more than 45 minutes. And it was a testament to everybody who came that everybody just didn't even bat an eyelid, chipped in, helped out, broke a sweat, even though they had their makeup and their hair done and their nice shirt on. And that really says a lot about all of the people that are here. So we are truly, genuinely grateful to each and every one of you that's here today and helped out. So thank you so much for being here. I know it was relatively short notice. We only decided in February that we were going to be getting married. She proposed to me on my birthday on February the 5th. And I was a bit put out actually because I'd already booked a trip to Iceland to do exactly the same thing a few months later, and the tickets were non-refundable. It was halfway through the speech that she stopped me and reminded me I should probably give her an answer. Of course I said yes, and the trip to Iceland was fantastic actually. It was really good. We still went, but most of it was really good. Some of it, you know, that we're all here today, that's what counts, right? Devin proposing to me is actually really perfectly fitting with our relationship, because the way it generally tends to go is I spend a lot of time talking about it and Devin ends up doing it. Which was exactly how it worked in this case. But other than everybody for being here and helping out this afternoon even, there's a few people that I really just want to single out for special thanks. And there are actually a few people who've been added to that list since I wrote this. But when I moved out to Chicago, I became part of an expat community of teachers working at the British School, which is a very close-knit group of people who really support each other moving to a new city, to a new country. And Danielle, where are you, Danielle? Danielle, who's a relative veteran of that, is always one of the first people, when you step off that plane, she will welcome you, she will open herself up to you, she will help you in any way that you possibly can, regardless of who you are, and she does that with absolutely everybody. As we became friends rather than just colleagues, and it was no surprise that when Devin appeared on the scene, Danielle was one of the first people to step forward and welcome her into a group of friends, make her feel welcome, make her feel at home. And since then, they've become firm friends, and they've done some fantastic work for Sarah's Circle in the community, helping women in Chicago who might need a home. I know Mrs. Gregory here has also been doing some fantastic work with that. So it's been really great to see their friendship blossom. So it was absolutely, when we were sat there thinking, who do we both trust, who do we both know, who can we both rely on to officiate our wedding, it was a fairly short conversation, and it ended up with Danielle Stone's name coming up fairly quickly, and that was the end of it. So massive, massive thank you to Danielle. You did a cracking job. Thank you for sending us that message about 2 weeks ago that said, FYI, you're getting married in 2 weeks. Should we talk about the ceremony? But she did a great job, and we're really deeply grateful to you for being part of our big day, so thank you, Danielle. Also to Stephen, I said to him very, very, very plainly, this is a non-traditional wedding. We're not going to have all the bells and whistles. We're not doing bridesmaids. I'm not having a best man, blah, 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 blah. But Stephen very quickly realised that there was a massive flaw in my plan, in that if there was no best man, there was likely to be no bachelor party. So, him and with his wonderful assistant Matt Gregory, they set about making sure that that was going to happen. Now, we had a great weekend. It's tradition that I don't really reveal too many details of the bachelor party weekend, but I will give you one tip. If you're ever in Milwaukee and anyone comes up to you and says, do you know a bloke called Mike Kelly? Just shrug and keep walking. I'll tell you about it later. But the point I'm slowly making is that I insisted to everybody this is an informal event. I wasn't having a best man, but Stephen, ever since I've known him, has consistently shown himself to be one of the very best men you could hope to have on your side. Stop laughing, Neil. I'm trying to be sincere. And I genuinely appreciate everything you've done, from getting me the job to being a great friend since we've been here, and helping out with this wedding today. Truly, thank you very much, Stephen. Big thank you to Devin's family as well. Welcome me into the family of Open Arms. Absolutely love coming down to Ohio to see you all, hang out with you all, enjoy your hospitality. Being an expat, not having any family of my own in the US, it means that extra bit more to me, that every time I come and see you, you're also welcoming. You don't bat an eyelid, you welcome me in, you know, and it truly warms my heart. And I know that Devin's very proud of her family, so and it makes me proud to now be part of that family. So thank you to all of you as well. Page 2. This is also the perfect opportunity to thank my own family, not only for making the effort to be with us today, but also really for allowing me to get to this point. It's not an understatement to say that I was a huge pain in the arse for Liv growing up. Well, Dominic will tell you all about that later, I'm sure. But it truly means a great deal to me that my brothers and sisters have made the effort to be here today. They're all better people than myself, and the fact that they're all here really is quite special for me. Special thanks to my parents as well, who, even at my most difficult, supported me without question. They gave me the freedom to learn from my own mistakes, and I'm always there, without question or judgment, when I returned home with a tail between my legs. So, Mum and Dad, thank you very much. Thank you to Isla for doing a fantastic job with the flowers today. And to Henry, who set up some fantastic games over there, which I hope you'll take advantage of as it starts to cool down. If you've never played Cube, it's a fantastic game. This man here is the Chicago District Chairman of the Beer Dye Association. He'll tell you all about a fantastic game that involves a big board, some dye and drinking beer. Devin has asked me to also thank on her behalf, to thank Anne and Kate for arranging her bachelorette party. James, thank you for making my beautiful wife even more beautiful with her lovely hair. Thank you, James. Where are we up to? Thank you very much. They probably can't hear me. To the guys at Down Bed, they've been wonderful. They've been so flexible and so accommodating. They've done a great job. And as I say that, I'm looking at Rob, and somebody said to me earlier, "Who's that guy? Does he work here?" And actually, Rob doesn't work here. He's a friend of ours. But do you know what? He was, as with everybody, he did an absolutely incredible job, and he's still filling up the coolers with beer. He's just gone and got ice for everybody. So can I have a cheer for Rob? He's just gone and got some more ice for everybody. Thank you so much. We're almost there. But I couldn't possibly finish without saying a thank you to my wonderful new wife. Well, I sat there chuntering on about what a wedding needs to be. She was the one making phone calls, organising cakes, flowers, and pretty much everything else to make sure today wasn't just all of us stood in our apartment with a can of PBR and a bowl of Doritos. So well done, Devin. And those that know me now, I'm not necessarily one for hyperbole, but my wife is truly an incredible and inspiring person. And I challenge any one of you in here to spend any amount of time with this lady and not emerge the other side a better person. And that's one of the reasons why I'm so delighted that I've been able to marry her today. If you're 7 years old, I know you're 9, but if you're 7 years old and your mum starts making you hang around with a teacher at evenings and weekends, she might as well be dating Lord Voldemort, to be honest. But Lucy has only ever made me feel welcome. She's been incredibly adaptable as I've encroached on not only her space, but her mum's time as well. We become firm friends, and despite some horrendous jokes and my boring rants about Americans not using their knife or their turn signal and Hershey's chocolate tasting like sick, she's not once told me to piss off back to England. Devin, on the other hand. But finally, on a more serious note, I'd really like to take a moment for everyone to raise whatever's in their souvenir take-home koozie. To all of those who can't be here today, both of Devin's grandparents in Worcester passed away in the couple of years that I've known her. And I'm pleased to say I had the pleasure of meeting Leonard at my very first Thanksgiving down in Ohio. They've had such a huge and massive impact on her life that I've noticed, even in the relatively short time that I've known her. And I know that every single day, Devin brings their passions, their values and their warmth into our own home. And I know that she would have loved them to be here today. There's also a lot of friends who aren't able to be here because they're in other various parts of the world, and we told them in February that they need to save several $1,000s for a plane ticket, and it just wasn't possible. So we'll have a drink for those as well, wherever they are. Thank you again, everybody. Enjoy yourselves. There's games, there's plenty more beer, there's more beer in there if the coolers run out. There's punch over there, there's more food. Enjoy yourselves, relax, come and say hello. Have a lovely evening, thank you.